Guys, let me tell you about the absolute madness that is our traffic fine system in 2025. Imagine this. You are just heading out on a normal day, maybe a quick drive to hang out or grab some chai, and suddenly every little move you make on the road is like stepping on a financial landmine. I mean, remember when missing a red light might have cost you a few $100? Well, now, if you treat that red light like it's just there for decoration, you're looking at fines anywhere from 500 rupee up to a mind-blowing 10,000 rupees. And if you think that's a one-off thing, think again. If you keep breaking the rules, they don't just give you a slap on the wrist repeatedly. No, they ramp it up so fast that soon enough, you're staring down the possibility of spending 6 months to 2 years in jail. It's like the system is saying, "Oh, you like living dangerously? Here, have more problems." Now, you know how we all love to cut a little slack sometimes, maybe skip a couple of safety measures because we are in a hurry or just feel like being a bit rebellious. But guess what? Not wearing a helmet on your scooter is no longer an excuse for being cool or laid back. Instead, it's now a guaranteed 1,000 rupee deduction from your wallet. And the same goes for not buckling up in your car, another 1,000 rupees just for that. It's as if the government has decided that being safe on the road is a luxury service you need to pay extra for. Remember the days when we joke about not caring so much about the little details? Now, missing out on these simple things is like handing over your hard-earned cash on a silver platter. And speaking of distractions, let's talk about our obsession with smartphones. We are all glued to our phones these days, checking messages, scrolling through social media, or even taking selfies while driving. Yeah, I've seen those too. But if you're caught doing that behind the wheel, you are in for a fine that can easily hit 5,000 rupees. I mean, seriously, 5,000 rupees just for glancing at your phone. It's as if the traffic cops have declared, no more your precious memes while driving. And you can just picture them now, flashing their sirens, ready to pounce on anyone who dares to pick up their phone. It's the ultimate irony. The very thing that keeps you connected to the world is now the reason you might lose a chunk of your savings. Now, let's get into the paperwork, because, believe it or not, having your documents in order has become just as important as driving safely. If you are caught without a valid driving license, that's an automatic 5,000 rupee fine. And if you are driving without proper insurance, that's another 2,000 rupees knocked off your balance. Oh, and if you don't have a valid pollution certificate, prepare yourself for a jaw-dropping 10,000 rupee penalty. It's almost as if the government is running a subscription service on your driving habits. Pay now or pay later. And if you don't pay, well, prepare to be punished even more. I know it sounds absurd, but these rules are strictly enforced, and there's zero room for excuses. Then, there are the downright bizarre violations that make you wonder if you're living in some alternate reality. For instance, if you try to cram 3 people on a scooter, like you think it's a free-for-all family ride, you are immediately hit with a 1,000 rupee fine, and your driving license might even get suspended. And if you dare to block an emergency vehicle, it's not just a slap on the wrist, it's a full-on 10,000 rupee penalty. I mean, come on, blocking an ambulance is like saying, "Hey, I don't care if someone's life is at risk." And the fines just keep piling up if you are reckless with your speed, or if you drive on the wrong side of the road. It's like every time you break a rule, the system is there to remind you, "Oops, you did it again," with a price tag that makes you want to hide your car keys for life. What's really wild is how this entire setup is meant to teach us a lesson. The idea is that the higher the fine, the less likely you'll be to break the rules. On paper, it sounds reasonable, right? But in reality, it feels like you're participating in a never-ending auction where every mistake costs you more money. Every time you run a red light, every time you forget that seatbelt is not just a fashion accessory, you're not just breaking a rule, you're basically making a direct deposit into the government's fine bank. And trust me, that bank's balance is growing faster than you can imagine. Now, let's be honest here. We all know that these rules are supposed to make the road safer, and no one's really arguing with that idea. But sometimes, it feels like you're spending more time and money on fines than actually enjoying the ride. Imagine the scenario. You are on your way to meet your friends, and you are just trying to have a good time. But every little mishap, like a momentary distraction because you wanted to check your phone, ends up costing you a hefty fine. Suddenly, That fun outing turns into a stressful game of, don't mess up, or you are going to pay. And before you know it, your bank account is crying out for mercy, while you're left wondering if the thrill of driving is really worth all these penalties. What's even more ironic is that, despite all these strict rules, many people still manage to slip up. And when they do, it's not just a matter of paying a fine, it's a full-blown wake-up call. Every violation isn't just a minor infraction, it's a reminder that your actions on the road have real consequences. And these consequences aren't just about safety, they're about your financial stability. It's like the system is constantly whispering in your ear, "Hey, remember that time you ran that red light? Bet you wish you hadn't. Now, didn't you?" And it's not just a one-time thing. It's an ongoing cycle of stress and regret that follows you every time you get behind the wheel. So, what does this all mean for us? Well, it means that driving in 2025 has become a high-stakes affair. Every decision, every action, is scrutinized and met with a penalty if it's deemed careless. You can't just zone out and drift along anymore because one moment of distraction might be all it takes to turn a normal day into a financial nightmare. And while the intention behind these fines is to encourage safety and discipline, the end result often feels like you're constantly walking on eggshells, nervous that at any given moment, a small mistake could wipe out a significant portion of your savings. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, fine, safety first and all that, but can't we just lighten up a little? Why does everything have to cost an arm and a leg? Trust me, I get it. We all want to enjoy our time on the road without the constant fear of getting a ticket. But the reality is that these fines are here to stay, and they're only getting more expensive. The government's logic is that if people see the real cost of their actions every time they drive, maybe, just maybe, they'll start taking things a little more seriously. And honestly, while it might seem harsh, the idea is to save lives and reduce accidents. But from a driver's perspective, it often feels like you're being charged for every single breath you take while on the road. Now, let's break it down with a few real-life examples. Imagine you're cruising down a busy street, and you decide to ignore a red light because you are in a hurry. In the past, you might have gotten away with it or just received a small fine. Today, however, you're looking at a fine that could range from 500 rupees to 10,000 rupees, depending on where you are and how the situation is handled. And if you are a repeat offender, forget about it. Next thing you know, you are in court, and the judge isn't in the mood for jokes. It's like every red light you miss is a direct invitation for your bank account to take a hit. Then there's the whole saga of safety gear. If you are riding a scooter and you don't wear a helmet, you are automatically hit with a fine of 1,000 rupees. And if you are in a car and you choose not to buckle up, that's another 1,000 rupees gone. It's as if the authorities are saying, sure, you might think you are invincible, but let's see how long your wallet survives this round. And we all know that sometimes, in our rush to get somewhere, we tend to skip these simple steps. But trust me, that moment of carelessness can come back to bite you, literally and financially. And then there's the dreaded mobile phone use while driving. I mean, come on, isn't it obvious? When you're busy texting or scrolling, you're not paying attention to the road. But despite knowing this, so many of us can't seem to put our phones down. And guess what? If you are caught, you are slapped with a fine of 5,000 rupees. That's right, 5,000 rupees for just a few seconds of distraction. It's almost laughable how expensive your little moment of indecision turns out to be. You'd think that in this day and age, where everyone's obsessed with their gadgets, there would be some room for a mistake. But no, every time you glance at your phone while driving, you are essentially signing up for a one-way ticket to Fine City. And don't even get me started on the paperwork. You need to have your driving license, insurance, pollution certificate, and a whole bunch of other documents with you at all times. Forget one, and boom, 5,000 rupee fine right there. It's like the system is designed to make sure you're always on edge, constantly checking that you've got everything in order. It's not just about following rules for safety's sake. It's also about making sure you never, ever get complacent. But honestly, it sometimes feels like you spend more time worrying about your documents than actually enjoying the drive. Now, let's talk about those quirky violations that seem almost out of a movie. Say you decide to turn your scooter into a mini family car by cramming in 3 people. Think that's cool? Think again. instant fine of 1000 rupees, and there's a good chance your license might get suspended. Or if you block an ambulance, forget about it. You are paying 10,000 rupees, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's as if the fines have become a catch-all penalty for every little thing you do wrong on the road. And while the logic might be to ensure that everyone drives safely, it often comes across as a relentless, money-grabbing scheme that leaves you wondering if it's even worth the risk. I mean, seriously, every time you get pulled over, it's like a mini heart attack. You are sitting there, trying to explain yourself, and the officer just gives you that look that says, "Really? You couldn't wait one more second to do it right." And then, without missing a beat, you are handed a fine that makes you question all your life choices. It's like the whole process is designed to drain you, not just of your money, but of your will to ever cut corners again. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that sometimes you start to feel like you're living in a constant state of fine anxiety, where every drive is a calculated risk, and you're always on the lookout for the next potential slip-up. At the end of the day, what does all this really mean for us? It means that driving in 2025 is no longer a carefree activity. It's a high-stakes, stress-inducing, wallet-emptying experience. Every time you get behind the wheel, you're not just focusing on reaching your destination, you're also meticulously planning every move to avoid a mistake that could cost you dearly. And while these rules might have been put in place to reduce accidents and enforce discipline, they also come with a price that many of us are forced to pay, whether we like it or not. I know some of you might roll your eyes and say, "Okay, fine, safety first, but can't we just chill a little?" And trust me, I get it. We all want to enjoy our drive without the constant fear of being hit with a massive fine. But here's the thing, the reality is that these fines are here to stay, and they're only getting steeper. The message from the government is crystal clear. If you are careless, you'll pay. And pay you will. Sometimes in ways that make you seriously reconsider every little decision you make on the road. So, next time you plan on hitting the road, take a moment to think about all this. Double check that you've got all your documents, buckle up, put on that helmet if you are on a two-wheeler, and, for the love of your bank balance, keep your phone out of reach. It might sound like a hassle, but believe me, it's a small price to pay compared to the hefty fines that await if you slip up. Every red light, every missed safety precaution isn't just a rule broken, it's a direct hit to your wallet. Now, I'm not saying that these fines are unnecessary. After all, if they help keep the roads safer, then there's some merit to them. But what really gets me is the sheer scale of it all. It's almost like every time you make a mistake, you're not just being punished, you're being forced into a constant reminder that driving is a risky business, both in terms of safety and finances. And while the goal might be to make us all better, more responsible drivers, it often feels like the system is more interested in collecting money than in genuinely making the road safer. Imagine telling your friends, "Bro, today I ran a red light, and guess what? I just paid 7,000 rupees for it." It becomes this bizarre badge of honor, a story of how you survived another day on these crazy roads, albeit a little poorer than before. And soon enough, you're all sharing your tales of woe, joking about how every drive is like playing Russian roulette with your bank account. Sure, it might sound hilarious in retrospect, but when you are standing there with a ticket in hand, all you can do is groan and wonder if it's ever going to end. In the end, what this all boils down to is that our roads in 2025 are more than just a means of getting from point A to point B. They're a constant test of your awareness, your discipline, and yes, your financial resilience. Every time you drive, you're participating in a system that's designed to keep you on your toes, to make sure you don't slip up even for a second. And while that might be good in theory, in practice it often means that you're spending more time worrying about fines than enjoying the ride. So, next time you're out on the road, take a deep breath and try to focus. Check your documents, buckle up, and keep that phone away. Not because you're being a stickler for rules, but because, quite frankly, the fines are no joke. And if you ever catch yourself tempted to take a shortcut or ignore a small safety measure, just remember, in 2025, every little mistake has a price, and it's one that your wallet might just not be able to afford. That's the long and short of it, my friends. Driving today isn't just about getting somewhere. It's about navigating a minefield of regulations, penalties, and financial pitfalls. And while it might seem like the system is out to get you, the reality is that every rule is there for a reason. But hey, until things change, we just have to play by the rules, keep our cool, and maybe, just maybe, avoid that next red light like our bank accounts depend on it. Because they do. In the end, the story of traffic fines in 2025 is one of extreme measures and even more extreme consequences. It's a world where every action on the road is meticulously monitored, and every infraction is met with a cost that can leave you reeling. And as much as we might joke about it with our friends, the truth is that these fines are a very real part of our daily lives, one that forces us to be constantly vigilant, disciplined, and, above all, careful. So here's my advice, straight from one driver to another: drive smart, don't take shortcuts, and always remember that every moment on the road counts. Because in today's high-stakes traffic game, even the smallest misstep can turn into a major financial setback. And trust me, no one wants to be that person who ends up with a never-ending series of fines, always looking over their shoulder wondering when the next ticket is coming. And that's pretty much it, guys. Just a heads up about the reality of driving in 2025, where safety isn't just about avoiding accidents, but also about protecting your wallet from the constant threat of hefty fines. Stay safe, stay alert, and remember, every time you get behind the wheel, you're not just driving, you're playing a game where every move has a prize. Drive wisely, and may your journeys be long, safe, and, most importantly, free of fines.